Guys, sorry for the inconvenience. I mean, sorry for the loss of the stream. So we are back again because of a technicality. Let's now start again our broadcast. We fixed the issue. So what I was trying to tell you is that we are going to do a comprehensive analysis of what really transpired at the AU. I cannot say that this is the very best analysis, but there are so many analysis, let me call analysis, coming from different perspectives. And let me also have my take. And my take will be purely be focused on scientific information gathered from various personalities who are really wonderful and really world-class on giving specific data, also specific political analysis based on the reality on the ground. But before we do that, let's first of all get a word from our sponsors. So this particular, the last week we really tried our level best to collect data from different sources, especially the money sending apps to Africa, and let me now put it specifically for Kenya. And we've done, the KDRTV news have really done a wonderful analysis for the whole week. They have captured the data for the whole week. And as you see on the graphic right here, we've got Sendwave, we've got Lemify, we have got TapTap, we have got Nala. So these are some of the apps which our people, especially from East Africa, used to send money back to Africa. And if you can basically look at the analysis, you can see very well that we have Sendwave, we have Lemify, we have TapTap, and we have Nala. So to be very brief, is that if you look at this particular data, you can see that Sendwave, Lemify, TapTap, Nala, you can see exactly how they have been doing throughout the week. You can see on Monday, Sendwave was really low, TapTap was really low, Nala was really low, but we started the week with Lemify. You see that Lemify is really very, very, very stable. The graphic representation shows that they were very consistent on their exchange rates up to date. But if I also, again, if I can go to the real data rather than what we are actually seeing here on the graphical representation, if you look here, you'll see that right now when you send money going to Kenya using Lemify, you go to our website. We really did a wonderful job, by the way. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Is that if you go to our website, kdrtv.co.ke, you can go up here and then get. We've had a very dedicated page to help you guys to do before you do any money sending transaction to Africa or to Kenya. The very best option you can do is look at the. You can look at you can compare the exchange rates before you really send any money to Africa. So you see here we've got Lemify, we have got Wave, we have got TapTap, we have got Nala, and we have other ones, but these are some of the highly rated sending app used by many Kenyans or East Africans to send money to Kenya, even to West Africa. So look at this. If you look at the graphic representation, you can really see that Lemify was really on tops. Lemify has been tops. And the beauty part with Lemify is that this app is really wonderful because you can also use the tail numbers. Most people have been crying, we send relatives, we send friends, we send our workers money back home. They live, and when they go to the supermarket, when they go to the hardwares to buy building materials, they con you or they do whatever. So the beauty part with Lemify is that you can also use a tail number to pay the money at any outlet. You your choice. So this is a wonderful way to send money to Kenya. And the beauty part is that you see it's very consistent throughout the week. And the beauty thing is that we've not had any hacking. A couple of weeks ago, we've had hackings to several of these other competitors, but Lemify has actually been tops to ensure that there is no hacking on their on their data or their customers' data. There's not been hacking, which really culminates to people losing money, like what we've had a couple of weeks ago with some of the apps. And the other thing is with Lemify is that you can exchange, you can receive money. You can receive also money from your clients back in Africa, which is really perfectly so good for people who are doing businesses there. If you have got rentals, you've got whatever, they can send you money, by the way, directly to the US using this particular app. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's now go back to the political perspective of what transpired at the, let me call it, at the AU in Addis Ababa. Many people were hoping, let me say, supporters of President William Ruto were really hoping that President William Ruto is going to bring victory or ensure that Raila Odinga wins the AU seat. But most people, again, some are still having so many questions to what really transpired at the AU. They're really wondering, because Raila was the front runner when the campaign started. He really crisscrossed so many parts of Africa, or so many countries in Africa. He gave his best. I remember to have seen one of our prolific leaders, especially from Nigeria, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, coming to Kenya, taking Raila to a couple of capital cities in Africa, really campaigning for him, and we were hoping that Raila was going to clinch that seat. But things really changed, or things went south for Kenya. So what is really the problem? Some of the people are really putting it out there that maybe the Kenyan image, the Kenyan international image, has really been compromised, and so many people are blaming President William Ruto for this particular defeat or loss. Looking at exactly what some of the pundits are saying, that not far away even from Kenya, but some people are, let me quote Dr. Mohisa Kitui, who said that Kenya is really having a very bad international image out there. Even the diaspora themselves are really having a very serious problem. The Gen Z, the people who really wanted so many reforms to come to Kenya or to be effected in Kenyan parliament, were really, some of them were really against for Raila becoming a candidate just because of him joining President William Ruto. But there are things we work. We as Kenyans, we are supposed to be supporting. Even Ruto is our president, and if he's really presenting a candidate out there to be a leader, and especially becoming an African leader, that was really going to really fare well for our Kenyan populace. But unfortunately, things actually went south. So let me quote what Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka said. Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka said that because things were really terrible back in the country, there were abductions, and these people, and nowadays social media and various news outlets were really painting a very bad picture on the Kenyan candidate, especially the president, who was really in the front. In the front line, trying to ensure that he captures the seat by campaigning for him. And then the other thing is about not only about the abductions. We have lost so many young people to their prime age. Some of them as young as 18 or 19 years, basically by trying to tell the government that whatever the government is doing, or whatever the security apparatus are doing, really is really compromising their safety, especially back in Kenya. You remember even one of our wonderful neighboring country, Kizza Besigye, was abducted from Kenya. So this has been really a very terrible precedent back in Kenya. The other thing which I remember Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka was saying is about the president's image, own image at the international, his image especially out there at some of the leadership, especially what he did at Democratic Republic of Congo. Right now, we are really ashamed as Africans because there are so many people who are dying in Congo. So many people are dying in Congo, and this is a result, as a result of ineffective leadership. I don't squarely blame President Tshisekedi, but there are so many things, Felix Tshisekedi, but there are so many other factors which is really bringing so many suffering to our people, especially the African people at the DRC, especially at the eastern side of DRC. People are dying, children are dying because of YouTube rules or Facebook rules. I cannot really share some of the agonizing images of whereby I saw almost 1,000 people being buried in a trench in a mass grave. This is really happening today, and we are talking about AU. I mean, these are some of the things we don't really value as Africans, because why should we value people killing the other ones? Why should we even accept what we call ethnic cleansing? The quest for the Congolese quest and the Rwandese quest, these things should really be sorted amicably without losing lives. Everybody has a right to live in his or her country. Everybody has to live without getting any pressures or external pressures. So whatever really transpired or is still transpiring in DR Congo, some of the pundits claim that this must have also been a problem, especially to our candidate, or Raila Odinga. So we are still looking at that. We are still munching at the numbers, at the data, and see exactly if this really transpired. Because what Dr. Kalonzo Musyoka says is that the SADC, or the Southern African states, your countries, decided not to back Raila because of his stand in Congo. You remember President William Ruto wanted a special session for the East African community to be held in Nairobi, and these people really refused. Then he decided now these people were supposed to, the presidents, the heads of state, were to go to Dar es Salaam. And when we had a very let me call it, not really a wonderful, but it was not really a wonderful discussion down there in Dar es Salaam. Again, we saw the exchanges between President Kagame and Ramaphosa of South Africa. It was not really. This is not what we expect of our leaders. Right now, a few days ago, we've got a report from Congo that a minimum of 50 South African soldiers have been killed. And why are they actually being killed? It's really traumatizing so much. So if we really have an effective, what we call an effective AU, why can't it tackle some of these problems? Is AU really going to tackle these problems? And these are some of the things Dr. Stephen Kalonzo was trying to attribute to Raila's laws, because the person who was campaigning for him was not qualified. Does not really have a good international image. The way he sorted after he heard that the MR23 were approaching Goma, he decided to do what? He decided to call President Macron. And most of these countries, especially most of the Sahel region, or most of the African people, they really don't want any meddling from the West. But now here, President Ruto was heard, or was seen giving a brief or media brief that he has called President Macron to help. This is an African problem. It's not an international problem. So it should be sorted by the Africans themselves. But the leaders actually failed. So what should we really do as Africans today? Can't we rally our people, especially from diaspora, to ensure things actually work out? So these are some of the weirdest things we watched or we saw transpire in Addis Ababa, whereby Raila lost. Raila was really leading the first round, the second round, and then he decided to pull out in the fourth round because things were not really going on his way. And the other thing also, most Kenyans are also claiming out is that basically there was something like the Francophone issue, whereby the Francophone people decided to vote their own people and decided to leave the Anglophone. So, I mean, are we really transporting our way of voting, especially the weirdest way of voting in our countries, especially based on ethnicity and all that? So did we really use the Anglophone or the religion to deny Raila a chance? Because Raila is one of Raila's. You look at his credentials, man. This is really a wonderful guy who could have really transformed the African scope at the AU. He's really having all the credentials in his hands to ensure Africa moves forward. So there must be something really terrible. There must be something really terrible out here which really made the Kenyan candidate who was really the front runner to lose. So, do we entirely blame President Ruto, or there's something, or we also blame Raila Odinga? But as from the chair I'm sitting here, I'm reading so many African forums. The messages which are really coming out here are so strong. And let me read one of the messages from an aggrieved individual. Let me read it. He says, we are lucky that we can see things and offer criticism that these leaders deserve. They are absolutely horrendous. If they do not notice how counsel and noise at home has refused to make them humane, does it affect them when they lie about the vision on integrated Africa, while in Kenya, the 43 colonial ethnic groups are bastions of hatred or of infrastructure? How can Kenya be the Mackey's example, 10, 20, 30 multi-year plans? Raila and Kenya, we're messy. So, I mean, these are some of the messages we are really getting from some of our wonderful viewers, and some of the messages are really traumatizing. I remember to have seen a social media clip whereby people especially from the Nyeri side, were so happy that Raila was losing. I was really wondering, hey, they are saying because they are not ethnic, they are supporting somebody. I mean, they are supporting the candidate from Djibouti because they are not. I mean, doesn't really make sense. They are saying because they are not tribalist or whatever, they are supporting somebody from a different country. But here is our candidate. I don't really understand what is really happening. Are we really people who respect the rule of law? Are we really people who respect other tribes or other ethnicities? Do we really hate? Do we still harbor hate for other ethnic groups or whatever we call it? So what should we really do especially as Kenyans? Even if, I mean, I read today one of a comment from from a wonderful professor in one of my groups. She said that, I quote, and she said, and I quote, that one time Professor Piolo Lumumba gave a candid discussion, or they really had a chat with Professor Lumumba, and he was asking Lumumba, why can't you again try your stab in one of these elective posts? And Lumumba said, in Kenya, it's really very messy. For you to become a leader, you must be moneyed. You really have to have a lot of money. And the main problem of Kenyans today is the people themselves, is the citizens themselves. The leaders are not the problem because they elect what they want. So the leaders who are elected are a representation of the people themselves. So Professor Pielo Lumumba told that wonderful professor, I'm not really quoting her name here because I didn't actually, I don't have an express authorization from her for me to mention her. But she said pretty well that things are really very bad in Kenya because the leadership whom we choose is a representation of us, because some of the leaders, we really have a hatred, ethnic chauvinism, which is really making life so difficult, especially for Kenyans. So are we really going to change our way of reasoning and ensure that we choose leaders based on the very best qualities that they are going to do as justice when delivering or when executing their mandate, which citizens have given them. These are some of the questions we really need our leaders to answer. So, bad luck for Raila Odinga, but he promised that he's going to ensure that this is not the end. So he's really anticipating to have another next course of action, whereby he still wants to all the African leaders to integrate and ensure that we move forward as a continent. We're still very much scared because moving even from one country, from one continent, I mean, not continent, but from one country to the other one, you need very expensive visas to travel there. So these are some of the things most Africans are really wondering. What are you talking about? AU? What is AU? Is it really integrating Africa? Is it really bringing Africa together? Are we really looking at issues and then solve them the very best way possible, or we are basically there just because we are there as human beings, still butchering ourselves? Is it really fair? Especially what is happening in DR Congo right now. Children being butchered every day. Is it really fair? What is the problem of the MR23? Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka said that Ruto actually is the cause of Raila's defeat. Especially, Ruto decided even to remove the former president Uhuru Kenyatta from the negotiating table. And I remember sometimes back, President Uhuru Kenyatta really complained about the ineffective way of some of the leadership he was bringing on the table. Some of the leaders came on the table, and some of them were antagonizing the negotiations. So President Uhuru Kenyatta really had very harsh words to some of our leaders, especially in East and Central Africa, who are not really cooperating with the negotiations. So some of these key areas is really a very, 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 very messy problem we have in Africa. So till next time, may God bless you. Thank you so much. We'll meet again next Sunday for another deliberation. Thank you. May God bless you.